Welcome to video 3 of module 10, where we will look at how partnerships can be harnessed and applied effectively. Of course, many partnerships appear to be successful in theory, but it is far more difficult to capture their effectiveness in practice. What they need to thrive is common and shared incentives, metrics and key performance indicators, and goal setting for accountability. In this video, we will consider these requirements for partnerships to be successful and highlight some successful case studies. Ownership and commitment. Ownership and commitment start from an identified need while ensuring organizational acceptance, equal roles, autonomy, and engagement among all actors. Commitment is found in the political will and buy-in of the actors involved. It means that there is a real drive towards achieving the shared mission of the partnership, which brings with it a strong sense of trust as well as accountability. The Australia's All Means All, Australian Alliance for Inclusive Education, is a great example of how something large scale at the national level can also create a sense of ownership and commitment at the local level. As a national multi-stakeholder alliance, All Means All works to remove the barriers for vulnerable and disadvantaged learners to access fully inclusive education in Australian schools. Its work includes creating resources, lobbying and facilitating networks that are specific to certain stakeholders. This includes the School Inclusion Parent Network and the School Inclusion Network for Educators. Both networks operate at the national level with interesting features that can increase ownership and commitment. The parent network facilitates in-person connections among parents through self-sustaining local parent support groups known as SIPN local groups, which can meet at state, local, and even school level with a dedicated closed Facebook group for them to connect. The educator network facilitates connection and communication with other educators, including through a dedicated closed Facebook group, along with supporting resources and member benefits. Communication and coordination. Communication and coordination are often the weakest or missing link in multi-stakeholder partnerships. It requires having a clear pathways for sharing knowledge, information, and updates, and a clear mechanism for collective planning, implementation, and monitoring. In emergency contexts, this is all the more pressing when a given situation can change drastically, requiring all actors to be informed and know what action to take in real time. Let's look at the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, UNHCR, for example, the UN agency that is dedicated to protecting the rights of refugees. Given the nature of the agency's work, its focus on emergency response requires the involvement of many different actors to ensure basic services to those who are displaced, including health, nutrition, and education. Let's focus on the coordination aspect of UNHCR's partnerships. Through its Global Learning Center, it includes a number of approaches and good practices at the theoretical level. In practice, UNHCR's long-standing partnership with the International Finance Cooperation since 2016 is an example of strong coordination where they have implemented joint projects in several countries including Brazil, Colombia, Ethiopia, Jordan, Kenya, and more. Together, they have now launched a new initiative to create inclusive economic opportunities for refugees and host communities by bringing in private sector partners and projects. As we have seen throughout this course so far, lack of economic opportunities can be a key driving force behind exclusion, so we can consider this as an important social contribution towards improving equitable education. By bringing in private sector actors, the idea is not only to generate economic activity, but also ensure sustainable access to goods and services that can scale. This shows how partnerships that focus on income generation for vulnerable groups can reduce reliance on government and organizations by involving the private sector. Innovation and sustainability. As technologies continue to evolve at an unprecedented pace, actors need to harness new innovations more than ever before. This will only make partnerships more sustainable as time passes by enabling them to stay relevant and impactful based on changing circumstances. The private sector is constantly adapting to the needs and demands of consumers and the market, meaning that they are adapting to new innovations at a faster pace than public institutions. It also helps to simulate the economy at every level that they operate, whether at the international level for huge corporations or at the community level for a small business. By stimulating the economy, they generate employment and opportunities in the areas where they operate and ensure the provision of goods and services. International organizations and aid agencies are picking up on this and expanding their partnerships with the private sector, according to an analysis of the top 5 leaders in development partnerships by DevEx. For example, USAID, the International Development Agency of the United States, is playing a leading role in creating public-private partnerships as a key strategic pillar in response to the changing international development landscape. According to DevEx, since 2001, USAID has signed 1,600 partnerships with over 3,000 implementing partners valued at almost $20 billion. USAID has also created the USAID Learning Lab, a platform that provides staff and implementing partners with the tools and resources to support in planning, implementation, and monitoring, but also in harnessing innovations and learning through content such as blogs, podcasts, and other resources. Overall, what we can observe is that partnerships need to ensure that they can adapt to new innovations to provide sustainable solutions, communicate and coordinate effectively, and create a sense of ownership and commitment. The challenges we face in ensuring equitable education for all require us to work together with an equal role and equal voice as active contributors and advocates for this shared and very important mission.